Here's Mayor Darren Brown and Borough Council President Alan Coffman from their February 9th, 2015 appearance on First News from News Talk 103.7 FM, WEEO FM in Chambersburg, Pennsylvania. It's the mayor on the air. We don't have a cool name for Alan. That's the sad part. You know, I feel Alan's the bridesmaid, but never the brides. Sorry about that, Alan.
That's all right.
Mayor Darren Brown is here with us, as is our wont. Darren Brown, our mayor, and Borough Council President Alan Coffman are with us. You can send questions to the mayor when you would like to at your convenience, and we'll answer them on the air. mayor@chambersburgpa.gov is how you be in touch with the mayor. Gentlemen, what do we do this weekend?
Actually, for me, I'm in the Pennsylvania Air National Guard, so I was up in Harrisburg this weekend for training for that.
Okay.
So it's pretty busy. Oh, I also turned 35, so I'm now old enough to be president of the United States. So.
I like your dreams.
Yes.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday, 35.
Yeah, I think that's probably I'm not saying that's what I'm going to pursue, but I'm just saying that's the easy part of qualifying to be president. Then you got to become a millionaire, and
Sure.
you got to get elected.
Yeah.
That's the difficult part.
All those tough parts in between.
I know.
Right. And what did you do for your birthday? What celebrations? The cake? Was there what presents? Did the accolades come? I didn't see the parade downtown.
No. I got some cards. But yeah, after I get back from guard drill, I'm just tired.
Okay. And what's entailing in guard drill? What are you doing? Are you jumping out of planes? Are you flying planes? What are you doing there?
No. In the Air National Guard, which is basically like the National Guard version of the Air Force, my particular job is related to repairing television and radio transmission equipment, and so we get training on refresher on how does this transmission equipment work, and so my job would be repairing the equipment. And if we were actually deployed, it would be once the plane has landed, they say, okay, this thing's broken, you need to fix it, and then we go and check it out and repair it.
Look at you. I had no idea that you know how to repair radio equipment. I got a whole stack of this stuff in the back. I got things that probably still have tubes on them. I think I got a turntable back there as well. Little known facts. So some cards and the parade you missed because you were too tired. Understandable. 35 years old. Congratulations, Mayor Darren Brown. Alan, what about you? What was the weekend for you, young man?
The weekend for me was the family. My brother-in-law and sister-in-law and I went over to York to visit some relatives and stopped in Abbottstown on the way back. Had a nice German meal at the Hofbrau House. And went bowling yesterday for the first time in 35 years, and we won't talk about sports.
No. You don't get away with it that easily. What'd you bowl for the first round?
I'm not even going to tell you.
I think we're under 100.
It was under 100.
Under 100.
Absolutely.
They didn't put up the bumper. They didn't fill those the gutters,
No,
did they?
did not.
All right, then you're fine. What's it matter? Good for you. Whatever possesses it. Bowling is one of those things that you either love it and you live it, and it's a lifestyle, and you have your own bag, and it's the whole situation, or it's one of those things that you visit and you go, gosh, we haven't gone bowling in a long time. Why don't we do this sport more often? And then you get the score, and
that's right.
And there you go. How'd the rest of your team do?
Well, it wasn't a team; it was the rest of the family.
That's what I meant.
My son had not been bowling before; it was his first time, so he got the book Bowling.
How old is your son?
Dummies, 30.
He's
never gone bowling, so he went bowling. He got the book Bowling for Dummies and had a great time.
He bought a book?
He bought a book on it. Absolutely. I know more about bowling now than I ever knew before.
All right, then. Well, that's very good. Let me tell you something, folks. As you're tuning in at the radio station, what we have here is massive excitement. We've got cards and accolades for a 35-year-old mayor, and we've got a bowling borough council president. I don't know how much more exciting we can get and riveting conversation we can have, but the big conversation here is the roads. I think
lots of road questions coming in.
There are a lot of roads. Even I came up with one I thought you'd be happy about here. So where do you want to start on our conversation this morning?
Let's start with your question.
Okay. You head right down South Main Street here, and there's is that Garland? What is the
Garfield?
Garfield.
Turn around.
Garfield. So there's no real rules on that. It seems like some people will let folks from one side come in, and there's no yields, and it looks like it's a good luck.
Yeah, well, from my understanding, I'm thinking back even to my days in driver's education. from my understanding, the PennDOT rule is that both go in and they stay in their lane, and then if one wants to move over, they have to wait and use their signal and get over to the other lane. However,
that makes total sense to me.
It's incredibly rare that I see that. And actually, there's something we have in the borough council called the official map, and the official map suggests moving it up one block to Derbyshire, which would actually make a lot more sense, because then you only have homes on one side, and it's actually, I believe it's a wider street. It was years ago when that hammer factory, or whatever that's called, that was a lot busier, and so it didn't make sense then, but now it doesn't have the same amount of walking traffic into it, and it would be a lot better, but we have to get approval by the PennDOT and the state of Pennsylvania to move it up, because it is a state road.
Yeah, that's and not only that, not only the confusion there, and I can't imagine how many I'd love to know the amount of accidents that are happening there, and when it comes to the rules and that you had just mentioned, you have to stay in your lane, but if you've lived here all your life, this is the way it's always been done.
Exactly.
I'd love to. That whole area is also getting very messy. It needs some help. So I don't know if that's on the list, or is that a PennDOT road that you guys can't touch?
Actually, it is a PennDOT road.
Great, terrific.
And it'll fall into the conversation, I guess, we have here a little later on. And I think Darren will probably allude to this. There's an awful lot of people have misconceptions of what is a borough street,
right,
and what PennDOT owns. And there are an awful lot of PennDOT roads through Chambersburg. Route 11 is a state road, obviously, and so is Route 30. So when you're talking about that particular intersection down here, the rule is in normal conditions, the road is painted with a white line, and you don't cross over into the other lane until you get past the end of that line. So like Darren says, you stay in your lane to get to the end of that white line, and then you can change to the other. But a lot of people don't enjoy that. They don't pay attention to it.
No, not at all. All right, so the roads that people are always calling you, going, these roads, it's a mess. And we're visiting with Darren Brown, our mayor here, and Borough Council President Alan Coffman here on News Talk 103.7 FM. What about when is this road? When is 11 slated for repair? Because you're right, it's a total mess.
The last thing that I've heard was PennDOT will start the Route 11 project in March. This year.
March this year.
This year.
All right.
And actually, this ties into a question. It's actually a very common question. The Borough of Chambersburg puts out frequently asked questions, and I'm going to read a segment of it. Question number 17 of these frequently asked questions is, why are borough streets in such bad shape? And I think this kind of sums it up pretty well. It reads, first, it's important to recognize that the borough does not own or maintain many of the streets inside the borough. The Pennsylvania Department of Transportation maintains most of the major streets, such as Main Street, Memorial Square, Lincoln Highway, 2nd Street, Loudon Street, Wayne Avenue, Scotland Avenue, and many others. The borough owns most of the side streets and many of the alleys. The borough utilities started fixing pipes in all the streets about 2 years ago before the street is paved. With so many old streets, there are a lot of pipes being fixed at any one time. The borough only has the highway aid grant money accounts to fix our streets, and repave cost a lot of money when government bid rules are followed. So, I mean, it goes on a little bit more, basically saying, I mean, the main roads you take, as Alan was saying, Philadelphia Avenue, Main Street, Lincoln Highway, 2nd Street, pretty much any road with a number such as 11 or 30 or 316. They're all state roads. They're plowed by PennDOT. They are maintained by PennDOT. And this summer, particularly in March, we're going to start seeing a lot of work being done on them by PennDOT. And to go in a little bit further, all this patching that you see on Route 11, that is to replace the pipes that are underneath it. And even the patching is what PennDOT says that we are allowed to do. I mean, these are state-issued patching requirements. So what you have now is because of what the state of Pennsylvania allows us to do. requires us to do.
You guys can hang out for a couple of moments here?
Yep.
All right, then. We're visiting with Mayor Darren Brown and Chambersburg Mayor and Borough Council President Alan Coffman. We'll continue our dialogue on roads. Just so we can tease a little bit, what else are we going to talk about this morning that was on your minds?
Really just want to quickly answer a question from last week about parking parking passes, and then also flashing stop sign at the intersection of Stauffer and Stanley Avenue, and then also the raised pedestrian crossing at Norland Avenue and Wilson Avenue, which Alan will talk about.
We have an email on that one, which should be interesting.
Okay, we'll tackle that coming up.